good afternoon, and welcome to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. My name is Kathya, and I will be your host. We do Sports Talk every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101. Today is May the 10th. And lots of things to talk about. You can join us online at Love 101 FM Jamaica. That's on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can also join in the conversation by sending me a WhatsApp at 876. Okay, 876-997-3125. You guys know I always come with the excitement as it relates to sports and the latest information. I have such a fantastic show lined up for you. And of course, as I promised you last week about having a special, segment cut out for the Jamaica Premier League, we will be having a special guest joining us around about 1:30. So you want to stick and stay for that, as that will be very interesting. But we have lots of other sports to talk about. Let's start with cricket. The IPL had to pause because of safety reasons. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. Then you also have the NBA that's going on. Then the Champions League happened and the Conference League finalists decided, as well as the Europa League finalists decided. And then, we're talking about the English Premier League, how it is, how the sides are matching up against each other as it relates to who will make it to the Champions League next season. Very important questions, and the doors are knocking, and the doors are not opening, and some doors have been knocked and some doors have opened. So we are going to discuss that. And of course, if you were like me, early this morning we were up as we were watching um the finals, or rather the world indoor world relays. Right. World relay is taking place in China. I don't know why indoors on my mind. But the world relay is taking place in China. And don't we have a lot to talk about? Good afternoon, Caroline. I hope you are good. We have lots to talk about today, Caroline. Right. Some hits, some misses this morning, some baton drops. Ah, boy, I don't know. 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 That's how I feel. That's that. Like, at one point, I was like, did I really wake up this early? Did I really wake up this early for this? I was a little disappointed, and I'm waiting to hear, news from out of the camp, because something, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I know something. All is not 100%. Especially when I saw what happened in the 4x4 for women, it's questionable, and what happened in the mixed release. But we'll talk about that because we have a whole segment lined up for that. Of course, we always start our show by carrying you through the English Premier League. Of course. I will not. So usually it's the English Premier League, then we come to the Jamaica Premier League, and then we move on. We're not gonna do that right now. It's I'm going to do the English Premier League, and then we go to the games for the Jamaica Women's Premier League. We'll talk about some other football, but we'll leave this conversation for the Jamaica Premier League for the second half of the show. As I told you, that we will be joined by a special guest, so we will leave that for that time. You get me? Good. So we'll start off with some results from the English Premier League. So some results of the English Premier League that happened last week. But before we talk about that, I want to big up Khadija Bunishaw. Yes, Khadija Bunishaw, as she was or is the Golden Boot winner for the 2024-2025 season of the Women's Super League in England. Yes, 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 yes. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. So I think this is now her second year winning this Golden Boot award. We know that she would have finished in the top 10 of the women Ballon d'Or last year. So, let's see how she will, and, in terms of how she will place in the women's Ballon d'Or at the end of this season. Of course, we know Bunny would have ended her season early last year, and her recovery to this, in terms of this new season, was a little, you know, not the best, but she still ended up winning the Golden Boot. Not only that, but we know some of the racial issues that she would have faced um, there as well. So it's good to see her, that she has, risen above all of that. So, able to be the Barclays Women's Super League 2024 to 2025 Golden Boot winner, or own Khadija Bunny Shaw. So we say congratulations, Bunny. Keep up the good work. Yes, as top striker, top baller, as she does that. Yeah. All right. So let's kick ahead now to the Premier League. We are now in round 36 of the English Premier League. Of course, we're going down to, I think it's 38. Yes. So we have two more rounds to go. And I'll give you the results from today, the games to come tomorrow, and where the point standings are, and what does it mean for everybody. So let's see if we can get this in quickly. All right, cool. So this morning, Brentford defeated Ipswich 1-0. Everton, they defeated Fulham 3-1. Brighton defeated Wolves 2-0. Southampton, Manchester City played to a 1-0 draw. It's now 75 minutes gone in the Aston Villa Bournemouth game, and it is now Aston Villa leading 1-0. In tomorrow's game, Chelsea will face Newcastle, Manchester United faces West Ham, Tottenham faces Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest faces Leicester, and Liverpool faces Arsenal. And of course, that's a top of the table clash right there. All right, so let's go now to the point standings and let's get some information in. All right, so we all know Liverpool, they've won the league. So it's just really now how many points they're gonna end the league with at this point. Arsenal, they're in second on 67 points. Manchester City, they're in third on 65 points. Newcastle, they're in fourth on 63 points, same as Chelsea, same as Aston Villa. So currently we have three teams on 63 points. Newcastle right now with the better goal difference. Nottingham Forest then in seventh on 61 points. And we'll tell you what the importance of that point standings are. Of course, we know Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton have been relegated from the league. All right, so let's go back to the top now. So Liverpool, they've won the championship. So now we're talking about who will play Champions League final in the Champions League next year. Cool? All right, so there's Arsenal. Arsenal, they're currently in second place. They will play Liverpool tomorrow, and if they want to secure, I think if Arsenal beats Liverpool tomorrow, I strongly believe they will secure that second place spot. If they don't, then they open up themselves to finish less than second in the league. Then we go to Manchester City. Manchester City this morning drew with Southampton, and that could be a costly draw for them, because if Chelsea wins tomorrow, if Chelsea and Newcastle, so Newcastle and Chelsea, fourth and fifth, both on the same points. So if Newcastle wins tomorrow, they will go third. If Chelsea wins tomorrow, they will go third. And then Manchester City will find themselves in fourth place. Yeah, they'll find themselves in fourth place. What's interesting about this is that in the Europa League finals, which two English teams are in, namely Manchester United and Tottenham, the winner of the Europa League gets an automatic qualification to the Champions League. So it means that one of these spots, so it's 5 spots you get to the Champions League, but one of these spots will not be Champions League spots because we know it Tottenham or Manchester United, and none of those teams are currently in the top five, top seven of the league. So somebody's gonna get kicked out. So I would say if your team finishes in fifth, it's highly likely that you will be playing European football in the Europa League and not in the Champions League, because the winner of the Europa League will qualify for the Champions League. So no, so at this point, none of these teams, Manchester City, Newcastle, or Chelsea, or even Aston Villa, wants to finish in fifth place. None of these teams want to finish in fifth place. Everyone wants to ensure that they qualify um outright, if you want to call it that. And it would be, what's the interesting thing about how the Europa League works and how the other European competitions work? Because the truth is that, I mean, currently what? Manchester United, they're in 15th place, and Tottenham is in 16th place. I mean, they're separated by a point in the English Premier League table, right? And for them to still have a chance to play European football and they're nowhere on the table. I mean, they're literally just above, literally just above the relegation zone. Not necessarily on points, but in the standings, because as I said, they're in 15th and 16th place, and the relegation zone starts in 18th place. So that would be interesting to see. As so tomorrow's games and the games going forward in the English Premier League are going to be very important, and everybody's going to be watching. Everybody's going to be watching what's going on what's going on in terms of that Europa League finals. That is going to be very important. I know some persons have said, it's okay if it's Tottenham, and some people are like, yeah, we just don't want Manchester United to win any trophies. And I don't want to start with the Manchester United fans, so I'm not gonna say, as a Chelsea fan, I'm just gonna keep quiet, because I'm trying to win conference league, so I'm not wishing that Manchester United doesn't win a trophy. But it would be nice, you know if they finish the season like Arsenal, trophyless. Let's just say it would be nice. It would be nice. It would be nice, right? Right? Right. So yeah. So that's really what's going on in the English Premier League. And as I said, it's at this point of the season in anything for football, whether it be the relegation or trying to qualify for Champions League play or some play in Europe, it's always very interesting. And some of the teams, they will just, play against you because they don't want you to progress. And especially when those who are fighting for positions are playing, it makes it even more interesting. Like tomorrow, the Newcastle and Chelsea game, to me, will be a big game, because at the end of the day, one team can either go third, or one team will remain third. If one team wins, one will progress to third and one will drop to fifth. That's basically it. Anyways, we're gonna go for our first break right here on Sports Talk. When we come back, got lots more to talk about. Stay tuned.
Jamaica, it's your turn to triple the blessings. Saturday, May 24, Randy Williams Entertainment Center, and Sunday, May 25, West Jamaica Conference Auditorium. Performances by the Foster Triplets. 4 days late, Karen Peck and New River, Joan Myers, and the saxophonist Ricky Niles. For more ticket information, visit thefostertriplets.com. Call or WhatsApp 876-478-3604. Triple the blessings. Kingston, May 24, Montego Bay, May 25.
Part proceeds in aid of the Jamaica Christian School for the Deaf and the Salvation Army School for the Blind.
CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica, joined by Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Sar, Jean-Marc Wigan, MCs IT and Nadine Blair. Tickets are going fast. General 6,000, VIP 20,000, VIP 32,000. Limited time offer now. Get your tickets at select locations island-wide or online at sparopen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for more details. CC Winans, More Than This, King's House, East Lawns, Friday, August 1. Are you ready?
I'm gonna sing of the Get your CC Winans tickets right here at Love 101, 81 Hagley Park Road, $6,000 regular and $20,000 VIP. Don't miss out! These rates are only valid until Saturday, May 31. Tune in to Love 101 FM from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Sunday, May 11, 2025, as we broadcast live from Mega Mart Portmore. Love 101 plus Mega Mart equals a mega and love-filled Mother's Day. Join us at Mega Mart Portmore for all the Mother's Day excitement, entertainment, and more. Love 101 is doing it mega with Mega Mart. Don't miss the Mega Outside broadcast Mother's Day edition. Come be a part of the Mega broadcast with Love 101 FM Sunday, May 11, 2025 at Mega Mart Portmore from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Mega Mart, best value by far.
Mama, you taught me every single good I know.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And we continue with football. Now, in the week, we would have had the European semi-final. So that's the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, and the UEFA Champions Cup. What's the, well, is it championship? What the Conference League? Sure. Yeah, right. The Conference League. I'm like here, not remembering what Chelsea was in. Conference League. So Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. Of course, you would have known from last week that three English teams, cannot count, four English teams participated in the Europa, the one in the Champions League, two in the Europa League, and one in the Conference League. Now, unfortunately, Arsenal, they did not, or they weren't able to overcome the 1-0 loss to PSG at the Emirates. Went to PSG, they lost that match, and so they fall short this season of winning a trophy. So, sorry to the Arsenal fans. It's another season. It's another season without a trophy. My heart goes out to you. I don't know what that is like. Well, hear me talking. Anyways, right. So, and then we had the conference, then we had the Europa League where Manchester United and Tottenham, they were able to win their semi-finals. In the in the Europa League, and so they both will battle the Europa League finals. And then in the Conference League, Chelsea, they were able to secure their spot in the Conference League. So 3 European trophies to be decided, and 2 possibly could be, well, 1 definitely will be won by an English team, and 1 is a maybe. And of course, the Champions League, as it relates to the Champions League, it will be, what's this now? Inter versus the versus PSG. Oh, I couldn't remember that. Right. Right. It will be Inter Milan versus PSG. Of course, Inter Milan versus Barcelona. That game lived up to the bill. That game gave us on aggregate 11 goals. That's just, actually 13 goals rather, because it ended 7-3. That, the 2 legs football, and you get 13 goals. And of course, Inter, they were able to come out on top with their support behind them. They were able to win the second leg 4-3, and this actually happened in extra time because it was 3-3 at full time. And so the extra time goal that came in the 99th minute of play, having equaled in the 93rd minute of play, that's Inter. So it will be Inter versus PSG for the finals of the Champions League, which I think should be a very interesting finals. I think this final will come up on May 31st. I think it's going to be an interesting final. I think both teams have played well throughout the season, and I think, in my opinion, the teams are almost uh, evenly matched, in my opinion. So we should see a good game of football from those teams. All right, if you are just joining us, I did say that we're gonna talk about the Jamaica Premier League later down in the show, as we'll be joined by a special guest. But let me go on now to what's going on in the Jamaica Women's Premier League. I don't think I gave you guys any Jamaica Women's Premier League updates last week, which is so bad of me. But I'm gonna do that now, right? Jamaica Women's Premier League. Of course, we know the Jamaica Women's Premier League matches. Those take place on a Saturday. So today is a day for the Jamaica Women's Premier League. So let's give you the games that are gonna come up today. And right, here we go. The games that will come up today for the Jamaica Women's Premier League. All right, so fixtures for today, all games excluding one, which I will tell you will begin at 3:30. So Los Perfectus, they play Springers United at Brooks Park in Manchester with a 3:30 kickoff. Arnett Gardens, they play Real Mona at 3:30 at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. Proven Girls play Federal United at 3:30 at the York Sports Complex. And the only 1 o'clock kickoff game, which would have gone off by now because it's now 23 minutes past 1. Malgully versus Fraser's Whip. That's happening at Brooks Park, Manchester. So that's a doubleheader at Brooks Park, Manchester. First game at 1, second game at 3:30. And then Uwe Mona will play Wi-Fi United at 3:30 at the Uwe Mona Bowl. All right, so from last week results now, Cavaliers, there were 9 love winners over Real Mobay. Springers defeated Proven 4-2. Fraser's Whip defeated Arnett Gardens 2-1. Uwe were 2-1 winners over Federal United. And Wi-Fi and Mile Gully, they played to a 0-all draw. Right? So that's what's up for the Jamaica Women's Premier League. And of course, the point standings after match week 10 in the Jamaica Women's Premier League, still at the top of the standings, 9 from 9, 9 wins from 9 matches played, with a 49 goals, and a goal difference of 43. So they've only conceded 6 goals so far. Is Fraser's Whip, with maximum 27 points. Second is Cavalier. They've played 10 games so far. They're on 25 points. Third is Arnett Gardens, who have played 9 games, 19 points. Fourth, Los Perfectus, 9th with 18 points. Uwe Women, they're also 5th with 13 points. Mile Gully, they're 6th with 12 points. Wi-Fi United, 7th with 11 points. Real Mobay, 8th, 6 points. Proven, 9th, 5 points. Springers, 10th, 4 points. And at the bottom of the standings, Federal United, they've only won 1 game so far from their 9 games played. So yeah, that's what's going on as it relates to the Jamaica Women's Premier League, yes. Right. Okay, good. So let's move on quickly before we have to go to a break. We're going to talk about some basketball, and to all the basketball lovers out there, of course, we know the NBA playoffs are going on, and really and truly, are you surprised by I want to ask that, like, are you surprised by what's going on in the NBA? Because boy, I tell you. All right, so let's talk about last evening's games, right? Let's start there, and then let's work our way back, and then let's talk about the games to come today as it relates to the NBA playoffs. So let's talk about last night's game. games. Pacers versus Cavaliers. That series, Pacers is they're leading that series 2-1 Cavalier. They were able to pick back last night 126-104. That's how that game ended. And Denver Nuggets, they have now gone 2-1 in their series against the Orlando Thunder, ending that game. And that game actually went to extra time last night, 113-104. But I think the game that is on everybody's mind, which is a game that is going to come up today at 2:30, is the series rather that's on everybody's mind, or I hear everybody talking about, is the defending champions Boston Celtics. They're currently 2-love down in their series against New York Knicks. And let me tell you something. If New York Knicks wins tonight, that series is going to be over. Over. I don't think Celtics will be able to come from a 3-love down unless something drastic happens. And yes, it's not beyond the scope of sports, but boy. And then of course, Warriors, they will still be without Steph Curry, who currently is nursing a hamstring injury. Warriors, that series is currently at 1-1. And I mean, boy, let's see how it is that the Warriors are able to, rebound, come back, type of, get themselves together and work it without Steph. We saw them kind of struggling on the offense last match, without Steph being there as an offensive option. So we'll see. We will see. We will see what will happen there. Yeah. So after this, I mean, this is now the semi-final of the playoffs, and after this, we'll talking about who will be going off to the conference finals. But I think all the games or all the series are pretty close. Well, is it? Is it? We'll see. I mean, I guess after today and tomorrow, we'll see exactly where the series go. Because I said, if Boston Celtics go 3-love down, I don't think they are going to advance to the conference finals. Better yet, the NBA finals. So, still a lot of basketball to be played. Still a lot of games to track. Still a lot of things to keep posted on. And of course, you join us here on Sports Talk for all the updates as it relates to sports. We're gonna go for another break right here on Sports Talk, but when we come back, we're gonna be talking about the Jamaica Premier League and what's happening there. We'll be right back.
You don't need a special place, you active. Bedroom, living room, work, office. Move after every hour sitting. You don't need the gym to do your thing. You want feel good, move at least 30 minutes a day. 60 minutes if you want lose weight. Jamaican people make me start moving because we want long life. Where we want long life. Where we want long life. Where we want long life. Move at least 30 minutes a day.
Brought to you by Jamaica Moves, a program of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Saturday, May 10 is Move for Health Day.
CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica, joined by Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Sar, Jean-Marc Wigan, MCs IT and Nadine Blair. Tickets are going fast. General 6,000, VIP 20,000, VIP 32,000. Limited time offer now. Get your tickets at select locations island-wide or online at sparopen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for more details. CC Winans, More Than This, King's House, East Lawns, Friday, August 1. Are you ready?
Get your CC Winans tickets right here at Love 101, 81 Hagley Park Road. $6,000 regular and $20,000 VIP. Don't miss out! These rates are only valid until Saturday, May 31.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station Love 101 FM. And right now we are going to be joined online by Stephen. Stephen, he is the operations manager of the PFJL and will be here to answer all my questions. Stephen say I must take it easy on him. Guys, tell Stephen that I don't bite. Not on Saturdays, not during sports talk. But Stephen, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon, Kathya. I'm well, and good afternoon to the listeners. I hope everyone is doing well and recovered from last night's entertaining Jamaica Premier League games. Because I know you were at Stadium East last night. I know you guys were there. It was crazy.
Right. So first of all, before we even get to the playoffs, season ended. We have two teams that were relegated, six teams advanced to the playoffs. How has from your perspective, Stephen, how was the season for you in terms of the regular season?
The season was great. It was really entertaining. It's the return of 3 rounds of football, unprecedented with the number of teams that's currently there. So teams would have played 39 rounds of football this season. That's a lot of football, but it's what's needed if we want to trend in the right direction. So it was a wonderful season. We saw entertaining football. We saw a lot of young players getting the highlight that they deserve. Players, if I start to call the name of the young players who impressed this season, we'll be here all evening. But believe me, the players definitely showed up this season and they showed that they can compete, especially the younger players. So it was a good season. Mount Pleasant ended atop the table. They did really well. A lot of persons expected this. Arnett Gardens finishing second, qualifying directly to the semi-final or the playoff, both of them. So they did really well at the top of the pile. Other teams who qualified for the playoffs as well did really well. And overall, it was a good effort from the teams and all the stakeholders involved in the football.
Yeah, yeah. And then I mean coming down, then we had the playoffs. Mind you, I'm not gonna talk about the extra things that happened before the playoffs. And yeah, I think that's already been addressed and been settled, and the JFF, the competitions commission, have already made their ruling, so we don't need to go over about that. Yeah. Right. So let's talk about the playoffs now. First set of games happened last week. And then it didn't happen, but then it happened last night. And I must say, especially to the team of the your team, led by all those your that team involved and how you guys kind of work through everything. And I speak because I was there on both days, on Thursday and on Friday. And these things do happen because we have no control over what happened on Thursday. But to see the team rally, come together, very honest in exactly what was happening, and come now on Friday, said, all right, we'll cut our losses, the games will be free. To see the support and the turnout that happened last night, how it is that you and your team feel?
Well, internally, it's a good feeling, but we know that the work doesn't end. We have to always continue working. We're as good as our last execution. So seeing what happened Thursday was quite unfortunate. We rallied all night pretty much, and decisions were made quickly to say, let's move to Stadium East. Let's not charge the patrons because we want to let all the stakeholders involved in the football ecosystem that we understand that we care. We listen, we saw what the fans were saying. We listened to the players, we listened to our sponsors, and yeah, I think what we did in the end was the right decision. And last night came off really well. We saw some good football. It was really entertaining. And from my memory, I've never seen Stadium East rocking like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Neither have I. I mean, not even schoolboy football brought the crowd that was at the Stadium East, and it's not only that because it's. Let me tell you what it was last night. Most persons stayed for the entirety of both games. You don't normally see that happening in local football because normally when your side is finished playing, everybody's like, okay, pack it up, let's go. But the fact that they stayed for the second game was very, very good, and I think speaks well to the product that is being offered and just how you guys went about being very transparent as to what happened on Thursday and making it free on Friday to you know how people are, and you know how people are. But yeah, anything that we can look forward to, Stephen, for the rest of the playoffs or even the finals on May 23rd?
Wait, I lost you for a second there, Kathy. Can you please repeat?
Right. I was saying anything that you want to talk to us or any information you want to give us for the rest of the playoffs or even for the finals on May 23rd.
I just want to implore all the fans to come out and support the teams. As it stands now, we're scheduled for quarterfinals 2 for Monday at Sabina Park. Game time 6 and 9 p.m. And I can tell the fans, please come out. Both games are poised on a knife's edge, believe me. The Mobe Tivoli game ended 2-1 in favor of Tivoli Gardens, and it could have gone either way. Both teams played well. It was really entertaining. Cavalier versus Portmore, that ended 1-1 last night. That game was tense for the most part, knowing exactly what is at stake for these teams, but it was still entertaining. I can throw it out from now. Possibly we've seen the goal of the playoffs already. Ronaldo Robinson with a beautiful strike. It's possible. But knowing these players, they have quality. And I know that they're sitting now saying, how am I going to one up this? I definitely need to get the goal at the playoffs. I want to be the top scorer of the players. I know that's the mentality of the players in the JPL. So I expect a lot of entertaining football going forward. For semi-final 1, we'll be in Catherine Hall, bringing some of the love to the West. We return to Kingston for semi-final 2. Let me give you the date. Semi-final 1, it's the 15th of May. Semi-final 2 will be on the 18th. And we culminate on the 23rd. Yes, Labor Day for the Super Final at the National Stadium. And that, if you remember anything from the Super Finals last year, you know that you're in for something special.
Especially if a certain team makes the I'm not gonna call it. I'm just saying,
To be honest, I think we're now falling in love with all the JPL teams. They've given us a lot this season. So persons have time for all the teams. So I'm not concerned. Whichever team is there, I know it's going to be entertaining, and I know the fans will show up.
Right. How do you feel? I mean, the decision to go to Montego Bay for a semifinals. I mean, big risk there because I mean, at the time, Mobe was second in the table. They're in the quarterfinals. What inspired that decision to bring some football to the West?
Well, all right. So it was I'd say a collaborative effort from the various stakeholders. And it was a no-brainer really. Looking at where the football is now, we have to kind of spread the love, as I said. So it wasn't really a hard decision, regardless of the team that is in the playoff. If Mobe makes it, great. If not, we'll be in Montego Bay come the 15th.
Right, and of course, Montego Bay, they head into their second leg of that playoff with a 2-1 goal advantage. So it's already kind of halfway there for the Montegonians down there. Stephen, in terms of how it is that we were, because I mean, I want to go back to Thursday a bit, and talk about the reaction of the players and the coaches, because everybody kind of just seemed very calm. I didn't observing from where I was, from my good vantage point that I had, and I was just observing not just your team but the coaches and the support staff. How did you guys get to keep everybody calm during these circumstances? I mean, that were not ideal.
I'd say hats off to the teams. They understood the situation and they were willing to work with us just to get to a resolution. So hats off to the teams. They've been working with us. So that's the main reason why they were so calm. They understood the situation and we're trying to do what's best for football. So we followed all the protocols, and then when the decision was made, it was communicated. And even then, they were eager to know just when they're gonna play, and they're ready. If we told them we're bringing it out to the sea with some light, they would be ready to play on the night. Because that's the beauty when you have the stakeholders in the ecosystem buy into the dream and understand that the product goes first.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I have to give or lift my hats off to the PFJL, because I see you guys not now. This has now become, almost like a good product that you can say, okay, I can trust these people. So whatever they say, we're just gonna trust them. And I realize that has been with coaches, players, everybody just seemed to be like, okay, we trust this system, it works. And if it doesn't work, then they know how to have plan A to Z. So yeah, hats off to you guys. Anything else that you want to leave with us, Stephen, before you go?
I implore the fans to get on carb tickets, get your tickets early for Monday. Trust me, you don't want to miss the game. If you saw anything of the games last night, you understand that we are set for an interesting night. It's gonna be
Remind us.
brilliant. Go ahead.
Remind them of the ticket prices
All
and
right.
also the games, the times, the games, the time for the games and the games. Because I hear it's gonna be a flip on Monday in terms of who plays when.
Yes. So at 6 p.m., Cavalier will face off with Portmore United in their second leg. That game is at 1-1, interestingly poised. And then at 9 p.m., Montego Bay United goes up against Tivoli Gardens. Montego Bay United goes into that game with a 2-1 advantage. Ticket prices, we've listened to the cries that only the North Stand will be open, and the ticket prices are general $2,000 for the North Stand, and VIP tickets are for $4,000. So as I said, get on Carib tickets, get your tickets early, so you'll have an hassle-free experience. Even though ticket bus will be at the venue, tickets will be on sale for the gate. So you can come out, expect an exciting night of football.
All right, all right. You were hearing there from the operations manager, Stephen Douglas. He's the operation manager of the PFJL. Stephen, again, hats off to you and your team, and I'm looking forward to the incredible work to carry through to May 23rd. Thank you so much for joining us today, Stephen, on Sports Talk. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thank you for having me. And again, leaving all the listeners, make sure you're at Sabina Park on Monday night. It's going to be a great game. And the semifinals also promise to be great games. The finals, being the super finals, is going to be great. So I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys at the games.
Most definitely, most definitely. Thank you so much, Stephen.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, have a good one.
Same to you.
All right. That was Stephen Douglas. He is the operations manager at the PFJL. And trust me, people, they've been tested, tried, now they're proving themselves. And trust me, if we're to go from anything that happened between Thursday and Friday, I definitely can say that the PFJL, they are proving their worth in terms of how they go about, in terms of football organization and how they come together as a team. Just a wonderful team. CEO Owen Hill and chairman and just everybody that is a part of the PFJL body, and the work that they do to keep the players, to keep the coaches, there's their different stakeholders, the sponsors, everything, just ensure it. Because we know, not everything, you want to plan for a perfect time, but it doesn't always happen. But it's what you do after things don't work out that actually proves, what type of metal you're worth. And I'm sure the PFJL, they are proving themselves. We're going to go for a final break right here on Sports Talk. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some athletics. We'll be right back.
Sebastian Braham Ministries presents Mother's Day Experience, Gospel Show and Comedy. Sunday, May 11 at the William Knibb Memorial Baptist Church, Falmouth. Showtime 6 p.m. Featuring Sandra Brooks, Sebastian Braham, and many more. Comedian Leighton Smith, MC yours truly, Abigail Blair Black. Admission $2,005 pre-sold, $3,000 at the gate. Ticket outlet, Phoenix Health Complex, Champion Plaza, and William Knibb Memorial Baptist Church, Falmouth. For more information, call 885-1055.
This Mother's Day, Bashco is giving you $60,000 to pick up mommy. Spend $7,000 or more at any Bashco location before May 6th. $60,000 or a brand new washing machine or an air fryer oven and a gift cert could all be yours from Bashco. Don't miss your chance. Enter now. Pick up mommy with Bashco. Follow Bashco on all socials at Bashco Jamaica. Bashco, the store that gives you more. Authorized on Section 63 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Tune in to Love 101 FM from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Sunday, May 11, 2025, as we broadcast live from Mega Mart Portmore. Love 101 plus Mega Mart equals a mega and love-filled Mother's Day. Join us at Mega Mart Portmore for all the Mother's Day excitement, entertainment, and more. Love 101 is doing it mega with Mega Mart. Don't miss the Mega Outside broadcast Mother's Day edition. Come be a part of the Mega broadcast with Love 101 FM Sunday, May 11, 2025 at Mega Mart Portmore from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Mega Mart, best value by far.
Mama, You taught me every single good I know.
Get your CC Winans tickets right here at Love 101, 81 Hagley Park Road. $6,000 regular and $20,000 VIP. Don't miss out! These rates are only valid until Saturday, May 31.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. We are going to dive into some athletics. But before, because I have to read this comment by Caroline, because this is how I feel. She said, "World relays make my head hurt me. Boy." Don't we all? First of all, so Jamaica would have participated in some races this morning. I'm going to tell you how many races we ran this morning. And only one team so far has qualified to the World Athletics Championships. Now, Jamaica, the first race we participated in was the mixed 4x1 relay, which is not a relay that will be contested at the World Championships, but it has been introduced at the World Relays. And we know this also was something, the mixed 4x4, this is where it started. They started it at the World Relays, and then, eventually was able to move to the actual World Championships till it's now in the Olympics. So I'm thinking that the IOC is probably not IOC, but IAAF is probably thinking that that is where they want to move, possibly the mixed 4x1s too. Right. So the first team that was in action today was the mixed 4x1 team. They were able to win their heat, qualifying for the finals this morning. Right. And yeah, so that when I saw that this morning, I was like, okay, we're gonna have a good morning. I really thought that. And of course, the Americans, unfortunately, they had a mishap in the mix 4x1. So I was like, all right, cool, okay. Just trying to, stay positive for the team, and, saying, all right, fine, it's what it is. We're gonna come out with a good day. Yeah. It wasn't a great day for us at all. Honestly, it wasn't a great day for us. It wasn't a great day for us, and I'm not sure. I can't say exactly what happened, but yeah. So we ran 41.04 in our heat to win our heat, and we'll be in lane 7 in the finals. But that's tomorrow morning. I want to talk about today, or this morning rather. Right. So we won our heat, as I said, in the mixed 4x1, 41-04. That's the team of Natasha Morrison, Crystal Slowly, Javari Thomas, and Rashid Foster. So the next team that was in action. Okay, cool. Right, cool. Right. The next team that was in action would have been our mixed 4x4 team. And I'm not sure what happened with that team, honestly. I'm still, you hear me kind of hesitating, is because I'm not I am completely not sure what is happening with the team. I don't know if the team is suffering from jet lag. I don't know. I think we had a good race up to when Nisha Berger took the baton in the mixed 4x4, and I think it kind of just went downhill for us from there. Honestly, I think it just went downhill, and it went downhill very, very quickly. Like, you wouldn't imagine how quickly it went downhill for us. And so I think we ended that race in 6th place. It's, yeah, And then we had the 4x1 qualifiers that went off. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say without fuss. Um, really, we were able to qualify. We qualified second in our heat behind Spain, with the team of Tina Clayton starting, Tishaly and Fraser Price to Tia Clayton to Sharika Jackson. To me, I think the weak leg on that team would have been Tia Clayton. I'm not sure. I mean, I know they're still trying to figure it out, but yeah, that was pretty much it. The ladies won, were they ran 52.51 seconds. Oh wait, the people over here. Okay, right. They ran 52.51 seconds, which is a season best. I mean, we haven't had a team run for the season, so that's understandable. So they are going into that finals with the, I believe, is the second fastest time. Right. With the second fastest time. And then we had our men. Unfortunately, they dropped the baton in their 4x1 race. That race, it was, let me go, Rohan Watson to Julian Fort to Johan Blake to Kishane Thompson. Kishane did not get the baton. The baton fell between Johan and Julian Fort. And I watched the replay over and over again because, of course, you don't necessarily like to play blame game in these instances. But to me, it's one two things. Think Johan went out just a little too fast when I was looking down as to where his marker was supposed to be. Think he went out just a little bit too fast, and I don't think too that his hand was steady enough. And then I don't think Julian was, because I mean, we saw it in terms of other teams. I felt if Julian maybe held onto his hand and put the baton in his hand, the baton would have been secured. But the several attempts with the baton, I think there were two, almost three, and then the baton fell, and that's because Johan's hand was not as sturdy as it should be. And if Julian had held onto his hand or tried to cup his hand to put in the baton, I think even though this change would have been slow, we could have still executed the change. But they do have a second chance at this. So the teams that didn't qualify, so the women's the mixed relay 4x4, they're running the qualifying two, which will happen before the finals tomorrow. So they will run again tomorrow. And I do believe it's the top two teams from that final that will get an automatic placement to the World Championships later this year. Then to the women's 4x4, because I just think that something is wrong with the 4x4 teams. Because first we had Nisha Berger in the mixed relay, and then we came to the 4x4 women, and Jodine Williams literally jogged the first leg of the 4x4. I've never seen us look so bad in a women's 4x4. Whether he'd fan, no matter what, I've never, ever, you know how bad the time was? The young ladies that ran Heidel in pen relays ran faster than the team ran this morning in China. That's how slow. I don't know what happened on the first leg with, I'm still in shock because I don't know. I mean, Jodine Williams, I think she ran in the Grand Slam last week, but there were other athletes who would have come over to China. I mean, for example, Kenny Benerick just looked like a head and shoulder above the rest, and he just raced last week too. So I can't say if it's the jet lag, if it's the what. I don't know. It is beyond me what happened in the women's 4x4. And then, of course, just to make matters worse, then came the men's 4x4. And I know he works hard to continue being on teams, but I think at some point, we need to make a decision as to what we're going to do with Rasheen McDonough. I don't know, because you run to make a team, and then when you go to the actual day of performance, you flop. And I can't, like, the heartache, the anxiety that we went through last year to try and get a team qualified for the men's 4x4, to not getting a team qualified for the men's 4x4. I don't know if I will be able to do that this year again, honestly, because it is just not, it it is not, no, man. And I can't say, because most of the team would, you see, this is the problem. When I look at some of these team persons, most of them would have already been in China, especially those who would have participated in the first Diamond League. They have not left China. They have not left China. So what is it? What is it? Why we're not getting the performances? Is it the way how the team is being structured? Is it that we didn't warm up properly? Because especially for it to happen twice for the women, twice a female, Nisha Berger in the 4x4 mixed relay, and then Jodine Williams in the 4x4 women's relay. I'm like, this is unacceptable. So if we know we're gonna give substandard, then don't send the team. Like, that's my thought. Don't send the team. If this is the performance that we're gonna give, don't send the team. Do not send the team. Don't send them. Don't send. So we're not going to look to qualify, because you know, and it's not. I probably hear people saying, "Oh, you guys expect us to win everything." I do not expect us to win everything, but by the very least, we should be giving good, decent performances. It's not that everybody else in the world is running super fast and they're just blazing trails at this. It is not that. It's just that the teams are just poor, bad, especially the 4x4. We don't know, obviously, what the men would have run the 4x1. So I'm hoping that in the second round, they are able to get the baton change together and run a decent time so they can automatically qualify. I don't know what is going to happen for any of the next for the 4x4. I don't know what is going to happen. And then right now, things, unless they have other persons that they were planning to bring in for the finals, I do not see us qualifying for any of the relays outside of the 2 4x1s. If the men get the stick around, I honestly can't see how we are going to turn around these performances. I just can't. I just can't. Yes, and Caroline agrees with me. I just can't. It is just beyond me now, and yeah. I don't know. Anyways. We'll see what will happen. It's tomorrow, 6:00 for those who are like me and we can't help ourselves but to watch the sports. It's 6:00 tomorrow again to see what the teams can put up, because this this has to stop. This has to stop. This has been Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you do join us next week. Yeah, hope you do join us next week as we talk about the remnants of the World Relays and so much other stories in sports. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your Saturday.